Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Stay firm. Sending that right foot back. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Alexis Faye Yoga. I am so very glad that you decided to join me today. Today we are going to do a deep stretching yoga class. So grab your mat and let's get into it. We're going to begin by finding our mountain pose. Taking ankles under knees, under hips, rolling the shoulders up to the ears and back down the spine. Closing the eyes and taking a few deep breaths. Letting everything go but this present moment. The only thing that's important right now is moving and stretching the body and relaxing through the breath. With our next inhale, we'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging at the waist, forward fold. Inhale, finding a half high, flattening out the back. Exhale to fold. Finding our forward fold here. We'll put as much bend to the knees as we need. Allowing the arms to grow heavy towards the floor. We can grab for opposite elbows and find a sway to the body. Or we can stretch out the legs, lifting onto the tippy toes of one leg, setting the heel back down, wiggling out, however we'd like. With our next inhale, reaching tall to the ceiling. Exhale, bringing the arms down beside the body. We'll make our way onto our mats. And we'll take the left leg out in front of the body, finding a low lunge, sending the hips forward and softening here. We can have one arm on either side of the leg, or we can bring both arms on the inside, finding a lizard pose. But focusing on sending those hips forward, tall through the chest and through the top of the head. Going to shift the hips behind us to find a half split. So you can walk that front foot out a little bit further if you'd like. You can leave the toes up in the air or leave the foot flat on the floor. But we're going to hinge at the waist, folding closer towards that left leg. Our inhale, lifting the chest up, and we're going to flow back and forth between our low lunge and our half splits. Sending the hips forward. Sending the hips back behind us, hinging and folding forward. Moving back and forth. Back to a lunge. We'll bring both hands to the inside of the leg and send the leg back. Wiggling out through the hips to reset the spine. And we'll bring the other leg around. Finding that low lunge. Sending the hips forward, keeping the chest up and the eyes up, so we're not rounding, we're lengthening. Again, you can bring both arms to the inside of the leg if you'd like, finding a lizard pose instead of a lunge. Shifting the hips back behind us, and we'll find that half splits again. So you can work that foot out in front and fold. You can point the toes up and fold. Wherever you're feeling a nice stretch at. And again, we're going to make our way back and forth between our low lunge and our half splits. Bringing both hands to the inside of that leg and sending it back around. We're going to take the knees to the outer edges of the mat, bringing big toes in till they touch. Walking the hands out in front, sending the hips back towards the heels, and dropping the forehead or the top of the head to the floor. Shifting forward again, bringing the knees under the hips. Our left knee or our left foot will step out in front again, finding our lunge here, softening through the hip. We'll sit tall this time, taking our right arm up to the ceiling and gently bringing it across towards the left side. So we're getting a stretch from the right hip all the way out through the right fingertips. And we can drop the left hand down to the floor or to the leg to help balance. Inhale, bring the body back up. Our right hand is going to come to the floor beside our left foot. With an inhale, we'll take the left arm up to the ceiling, or maybe a little bit past that, stretching across the front of the shoulder. Bringing that arm back around, sending the left leg back. Again, wiggling out through the body. And bringing the right foot up. Sitting tall in our lunge, taking both arms up. And maybe reaching that left arm across towards the right side. Feeling a stretch from the right hip or left hip or left knee all the way up to the left fingertips. Inhale, coming back up to center again. Left hand will come beside that right foot, taking the right arm up. And bringing the right arm back around. We'll send that right leg back. Walking the hands one step further out in front, dropping the chest towards the floor. With an inhale, lifting the body back up. We're going to shift forward so that our hips are down on the floor. Bringing the forearms in and pressing down through the forearms and the fingertips, lifting tall through the top of the head. Shifting the hips back and walking the hands in. We'll move to a frog pose or a half frog pose. So either taking both knees out to the outer edges of the mat and taking the ankles parallel, softening the chest down and staying here, pressing the hips towards the floor. Or we'll take only one leg out towards the side, the other leg will be straight behind the body, and we'll press just one hip into the floor at a time. we're doing a half frog, but go ahead and switch so we're stretching out the other hip now. Sliding or rolling onto one side to help us get out of our frog boat. Walking our way up. And we're going to sit on the heels for a few seconds. If this is uncomfortable for your knees, tuck your toes under to give you a little extra space. Good. We'll make our way so we're laying down on our backs. And taking both legs up to the ceiling. Pointing the toes and flexing the feet, circling the ankles around. We'll bring the left knee into the chest for a nice big squeeze, dropping the right leg down to the floor. Taking that left knee across the right side of the body, we'll find a gentle twist here. Keeping both shoulder blades down on the floor, stretching the left arm out to the side. The eyes might turn towards that left hand. And then maybe you might want to play with the angle that left arm is coming out from the shoulder. Maybe taking it up a few inches, or taking it to a cactus and pressing the elbow down. But finding a comfortable spot where we're feeling a stretch across the shoulder and the front of the chest. We'll gently make our way back to our back. Bringing the left knee in for another big hug to the chest. And then we'll take the left leg back up. Bringing the right leg up as well. Circling out the ankles a few more times, wiggling out. And we'll bring the right knee to the chest, dropping the left knee down in front. And giving that right knee a big squeeze into the body. And then we'll take that right knee across the left side of the body. Again, keeping both shoulder blades down on the mat. Taking the right arm out from the shoulder, and the eyes might follow. Then same as the other side, playing around with how the arm is. Maybe taking it up a few inches or really reaching with the fingertips. Finding an area that we find a good but comfortable stretch. Again, nice and slow. We'll gently roll till we're laying on our back. Bringing that right knee in for another big squeeze to the chest. And taking the right leg up. Bringing the left up as well. Circling out the ankles a little bit more. And we'll take the arms up with our pointer and middle fingers on both hands. We'll hook the toe, or we'll take the hands to the outside of the feet, taking the knees past the rib cage and gently pulling down. We can stay here, gently pulling the feet down towards the floor, or we can play a little bit with the legs, stretching one out and then the other, or stretching both out, rocking side to side or forward and back, whatever feels right. Go of the legs and slowly and gently make our way to seated. Taking a mental scan of the body, noticing how we're feeling. If there's anywhere else that needs a little extra stretching. We'll take one last breath in through the nose. Release it out as a sigh. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and go in love and light. Namaste.